Happy Friday. Are we all ready to get out of here? Let me ask you something. How many of you out there are new to Stockton? Show of hands. New to the Stockton area. You've never been to Stockton before. Okay. The reason I say that, a little bit about me, is give you a little bit of, I didn't design these graphics. I don't even know where to point this thing. Let's see. There we go. I'm with the, my name is Mike Belcher. I'm the Director of Public Safety, otherwise known as the Chief of Police. I'm originally from the New England area. Do we have any Bostonians, East Coasters? No? Okay. And I've been out here for 38 years. I love this community, and the reason is, geographically, you are currently staying in the greatest place in the United States. And the reason I say that, there's no other place that in 2.5 hours, I'm down in Monterey biking, Carmel, shopping along the little streets of Carmel. Or 90 minutes away, I'm in San Francisco, in one of the most romantic cities in the United States. Hour and 20 minutes, I'm in Napa, picnicking. During the winter time, I can be snowboarding up at 13 ski resorts up at Lake Tahoe that every slope is coming down and you're looking at a postcard. And I think if I need some therapeutic help, I can go 90 minutes up to Yosemite. So it's like a hub to go so many different places. There's so many festivals and things of diverse nature that you can really enjoy yourself while you're here during your studies. And that's what happened to me. I came out here through the Air Force and I never went back because of all the things that this area offers. So take advantage of it while you're here. Come on, move. There we go. We are kind of unique because we are one of only 3 private campuses that has its own police department. Stanford and USC are the other 2. We get our powers, police powers, through the city of Stockton through an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, where our officers go through the same courses, the same academies, their backgrounds, the same, their training, the same. Many of them, I'd say about 90% of our officers are former Stockton PD officers. I served down there for 25 years, retired in the morning, had lunch, and then I worked out here, so I had a great retirement, lunchtime. And one of the things that we will offer you, and I think it's real important, the great location that Stockton is, it can be a challenge sometimes to identify suitable housing. And so if you want, you can connect with us. We have a listing of about 14 apartment buildings that we recommend. And I know students always like to go for cheap. Oh, cheap, great apartment. But then all of a sudden you move in and there's a lot of issues within the neighborhood or something like that. So work with us, or if you are renting a home, say, hey, you know, there's a home over here in the 3400 block at Dwight. What do you think? And so we can take you a crime mapping and show you the area, the pros and cons. You know, some people will move over off of Feather River and say, what a great location. All of a sudden they wake up at 10 o'clock or about 1 o'clock in the morning and you realize, what's that noise? It's a freeway right next door. And so, you know, we can tell you those kinds of things. Places to shop, if you're looking for food shopping, get a hold of our officers, wealth of information. If you're looking for something to do, I get 4 newspapers every Friday, and I put together a blog for my own respective neighborhood because I live in a 55 and over community, and many of the people aren't from this area. So I usually put something on there about all the music and festivals that are going in the respective weekends. So we are the only 24/7 operation. So when Christmas comes and everybody's off campus on winter break, I have a staff here that's overseeing the campus. And that's important because during your stay here, there may be something that comes up that's critical to you that you need to get a hold of somebody here. You can always call our office and we can reach out to that department to connect you to. I have 15 sworn positions. So not only do they patrol around the campus, they patrol what they call the caller of the campus. Not so much with our graduate students, but our undergrads. You know, they like to go off campus, and what happens sometimes, they have parties, believe it or not, but their parties aren't like mine, 10 people. Theirs is, 250 people. And the problem with that is they don't go in the backyard, they're in the front yard with a red cup, and now they become a billboard for the rest of the community. And sometimes they attract people, and then there's confrontation because they only want students in there, and sometimes it becomes violence. Across the United States, we're seeing more and more of that, where these off-campus parties are ending up in sometimes in tragedy. So my officers are always out in that community trying to identify those, and also we want to be a good neighbor. You know, this is old school Stockton. Right behind you, that's where the retired mayor is, that's where the retired district attorney is, and they know who to call, and it's usually my personal cell phone that tells me that they've got somebody over there that's creating problems. So we're also in there trying to make sure that we are a good neighbor. And our students out there are actually held accountable with our judicial affairs. So if somebody gets a, you know, a complaint out in the neighborhood, it can end up on Tyrone's desk. 6 dispatchers. We're increasing our dispatches because what we'd like to do is have a 24/7 camera visual. So we have we're just about ready to reopen our new dispatch center, and there'll be cameras up in the wall where the dispatchers are actually looking up on the throughout the campus. But the entire campus is not covered, but we'd like to do that because of the incidents that occur out in the parking lots, you know, for break-ins and thefts like that. 2 community service officers, primarily responsible for parking. And I don't have to go looking for parking tickets. Everybody's got a cell phone, and if you are parked in a spot they feel that they've got the rights to, they will call us and ask for enforcement. But it's what we don't know that we ticket. So for example, if you're living in a residential hall or you're going into a building that you need to park in a service hall because of the equipment that you got to bring in, call us. We're very forgiving. We just put it out to the officers to leave it alone for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is. And then if somebody calls and complains, we can also address it to the complaint. 2 security officers. If anybody's staying in the townhomes, I got security that's assigned to there at 6 at night to 2 o'clock in the morning. And I also have one here throughout the library, over here at the conservatory during the evening hours. And then I have 40 event staff. This is a place where students can work with us and get employed, because we staff over 240 events each year. Speaking engagements, academic events, student socials, and athletic events. And it's a way for students if they want to work with us. I have 1 student advocate. I'll talk about that, and 25 stripes. It's a cadet unit. Much like me, I went to Northeastern University. I wanted to be a pilot. I got my associate degree in commercial aviation and ran out of money, and so I took some other courses, and next thing you know, I'm into 38 years of being a police officer, and it was all because of a mentorship. Well, this is our way of serving a mentorship. I just got a call from an undergrad about an hour ago that we took on about 2 years ago. And he's getting ready to become an employee with the city of Stockton. And I've got one that's 7 years now, a cadet that's with the California Highway Patrol testing for sergeant. I got a female that's with the federal parks, and I've got another one that's with alcohol, tobacco, and farm. So this is a way for students. They work with us, but at night they're serving you because they drive around the campus at night, 6 o'clock at night to 2 o'clock in the morning. And what they're doing is they're my extra eyes and ears, but they're also providing rides to students that maybe want to get from at 1 o'clock in the morning from the library out to a parking lot or over to a residential hall. So it's kind of a transportation service. We have another transportation service that's a van that operates Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and it rides around the campus every 30 minutes. But if a student group or a group of students want to maybe go out to the theater or go out to the movies or go to a shopping center, they will provide transportation out there, and then when they're ready to be picked up, they can call them. It may take 10, 15, 20 minutes, but they'll go down there and pick them up and transport them back. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. It is not a party bus. It doesn't take them out to the parties and bring them back, because next thing you know, I'm getting complaints from the neighbors that that's what we're doing. So it's a good service, though. Building location, we're on the other side of the campus, on the other side of the bridge, right under Cow Wellness Center in the basement. See that number up on the top? I want you, it's on the back of your student ID, sometime during the day, take that and program it into your cell phone under contacts, under A police, A public safety, A security. Anything that puts me on top of your 750 contacts that you've got in your cell phone. Because I'm going to tell you, when the adrenaline is going through your body, and, there's something that's a cause, then all of a sudden you're trying to find that I want to be at the top. We're in an age right now where we have got to be not paranoid, but we need to be aware of what's going on around us. My phone just beeped right now. There was a shooting at a federal building in New York. This afternoon on the train back in Paris, there was a shooting on a train there, and 2 Americans there ended up jumping the guy and saving the lives of several other people. It's all because of awareness. How many people, when you walked into this building, looked up and says, okay, where are the exit signs? Okay, that's important. Whether it's a theater, whether it's any kind of conference like this, you look at it, because you look at the past issues that have happened at shootings across the United States in theaters. It's the people that stood up wondering, what do I do now? But the ones that reacted right to the exit signs are the ones that saved themselves. And said, most trained people in the United States right now are kindergarten teachers. Is that amazing? Because they react to that and they shut the doors, and that's how that saved all the people in Sandy Hook. So it's not we're not a life of paranoia, it's a life of awareness. So you can train yourself as you walk around this campus at night and looking at the blue light phones. There's about 73 of them out there. And if you constantly are aware of where they're at, if there's an emergency that makes that adrenaline go through your body, you always are going to react to your training, and you're going to run to them. I've had incidents, minor incidents, but they were a concern for us, where we've had students run past 3, 4, 5 of them, all the way back to the residential hall to find their cell phone, to call 911, get a hold of Stockton Police, and they have no idea about this campus. My officers, if you call our office, and if you push those buttons, they'll go directly to my office. The dispatcher knows exactly where you are, and our response time on the 911 is around 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes at the most. We're up in Stockton, it could be 10 minutes if you're living out in the county, and there are homes on the west side of campus that are out in the county. It can be up to 20, 30 minutes on a 911 call. So it's nice to have, you know, the officers close. These are our responsibilities: campus patrol, foot, bike, chariot, auto. Investigations, we're limited in our ability to do investigations, not because of our capabilities, it's the way we want it. Right now there are 55 institutions across the United States that are under investigation by the Department of Education because of the way they handled sexual assaults. So under our system, what we do is our officers will be responding to these if somebody is a victim of not only sexual assault, any other major crime, robbery or anything like that. And then we'll assist the victim, identify witnesses, protect any evidence, but we'll call in Stockton PD to take over the investigation because they get the resources and the better training at the investigation part of it. They've got people that specifically trained in dealing with sexual assaults, with regular assaults, robberies. The escort is my stripe service. I get building lockups, special events I told you about, crime prevention education. This is another area, especially with the undergrads, that we try to get into the residential halls. All my officers are assigned to a hall, and they work with the housing staff to put on classes. Our biggest one is See Something, Say Something, where we try to identify people out in our campus that are suspicious, not by the way they look or what they wear, but by their actions. To give you an example, 3 nights ago, a student over in Townhouses spotted 2 guys climbing over the fence about 2 o'clock in the morning. They called us, our officers were there in a matter of moments, and they ended up arresting them. They were in possession of some burglary tools. They were looking for bikes with cable locks, and I'll talk about that in a second. They're the easiest things to take, and they ended up getting arrested. It was all because some students said, that doesn't look right. That is suspicious. So we do those kinds of, how many people like Wi-Fi in here? Oh, come on, free Wi-Fi. Yeah. So we'll put on, you know, like we got a class on, do you know if you go into hotels or you go into airports and you go into places like that, there are people probably sitting 2 seats away from you, and they've just created a server. And in that server, say at Sacramento Airport, they'll put SAC free Wi-Fi, which is not like the Sacramento Airport Wi-Fi. So, oh great, I think I'll log on and I'll start paying my bills and everything like that. Well, that's going right into their server, and all of a sudden they're capturing your information, and boom, now all of a sudden you get back and your banking account is depleted. There's a way to protect that. Just for advice, they do it at hotels too, hotel lobbies. The way you protect yourself is by going to the concierge and asking them, what is the designated Wi-Fi for this area? You know, they've got apps now that you can put on the back of your cell phones, and you walk up, and as you use the pins, they only work in plastic, not the metal, but the plastic at the Safeway or any of the others, and you hit the 4 buttons, they can put it on there and they can read the heat patterns on those buttons. So the one with the lightest is the first one you hit, the one with the darkest is the last one you hit. So all of a sudden now they've got your pin. And things like that that we do through our crime prevention education. Become a member of us on Facebook and you'll capture some of those. Bicycles, again, stay away from these. We saw one on video the other day. It took them less than 5 seconds in order to clip it, and there was 2 people standing right next to him, didn't even know that's what he was doing. This is what you want right here. This will help prevent that. You can use one of these in combination, maybe if you want to secure a tire or something, but stay away from the cables. Highly advocate that you get these because we have a tendency to leave these things unattended. People aren't breaking in the rooms to take those, but I've got students, believe it or not, pharmacy students that have actually left their computer unattended to charge it and then went down the Miracle Mile to have lunch and come back an hour later, it's not there. You don't have people breaking in, but you'll have people that, if you take $400 and put it on your dashboard and go to Disneyland, when you come out, it's not going to be there. And so you got to be very protective of your property by being aware. And some of the things we probably wrong, but we shake our heads of people getting cell phones taken out of their car and the doors unlocked or their purse. And for example, anybody work out at the gym? Yeah, I do. And one of the things you can, I do this all the time too. You leave your gym bag in the back. They don't know that. That could be a computer bag. So you break your window and you lost your dirty laundry, and they think they've got a computer. So that's what you better watch out for. I put this up here. If you're living in a residential hall, sometimes students like to leave the doors open. It's good to have one of those because then you can secure your cell phones and your PADs and things like that in there. And otherwise, we find that they leave them up here and they end up getting taken off their desks while they went down to use the washroom facilities. If you're taking a vehicle, I always recommend getting an alarm, steering wheel lock, some kind of a kill switch or an OnStar. From Chico all the way down to San Diego, it's a hotbed for stolen cars. Anybody got an 98, 99, 2000, 2001 Honda? Very easy. You can take a key and just rub it on the sidewalk for a little bit. It'll start it up. So, here it is, Thanksgiving, you go down to San Diego with your friends, you park, you come out off the beach, your car's gone. Now you got to get your friends' rides all the way back to Stockton. You get all the way up here, San Diego PD calls you, says, we've got your car, you got to pay for tow, you got to pay for storage, you get down there, the tires are gone, the battery's gone, you got to replace those. You've been really triple victimized. For a cheap, sense of safety, it's well worth the investment. Parking, again, students must park in either the B lots, those are the big lots that you see around the campus. The N lots are the ones on the north campus. That is for students that are living on the north side, and that only keeps you parked over there during the daytime. You can come over here after 5 o'clock. We're trying to get people to come to walk to class so the commuter students have places to park on this side of the campus due to the limited parking. A parking are on these little side streets, like over here next to Grace Cavell, and those are enforced 365 days a year. Don't let anyone tell you, they're not enforcing right now. We're not enforcing B, but we are the A's. There's no parking in the service, visitor, or handicap zones. Call us if you're going to use one of these zones, not the handicap, but the visitor or the service, because you want to download something into your room. Give us a call. Citations are issued for improper parking. Appeal process can be completed online or in person. And call us if you have any questions. Just don't throw them inside your glove box. All of a sudden your dad or mom will call and say, hey, I can't register my vehicle. I said, you looked in the glove box? Well, yeah, there's about 30 citations in there. Work with us. We'll work you out. The other part he talked about a little bit, I just wanted to touch base on that, on the speeding. Speeding is about 10 to 15 miles an hour on campus. 38 years of my business, I will tell you one thing. 5 seconds can change the whole direction of your life, okay? And the reason I say that, all of a sudden you are going to Yosemite, you're leaving with your friends, everybody's got a great time, and some longboarder comes out in front of you and And that whole weekend just stopped. In fact, the next subsequent weekends have probably stopped, and now your whole life has changed depending on the condition of that. So take your time on campus, watch, because you'll see students come out on a longboard with their heads, phones on and texting right in front of you. And if you're doing 10 or 15, you're going to be able to stop. And what we're trying to do is prevent you from encountering those 5 seconds. Student advocate, real quickly, Mary Ann works for me. She will assist you. She's part of my office, but she's a confidential resource. And what I mean by that is if you have something that's in your life that's bothering you, you want to talk to them, you can go to Mary Ann. She's not going to tell anyone. She's going to tell you all your options and try to tell you what your choices are, and then you can make that choice. She'll help you with battery, assault, sexual harassment, theft, stalking. I've had students that have been arrested for drunk driving, and she has assisted walking them through the process because they were concerned they'd never experienced anything like this before. The student advocate will escort you to the police, judicial hearings, court hearings, to the hospital, medical center, assistance with filing a police report, emotional support, information about resources and options, and referrals for both on and off-campus services. These are some of the improvements that we've been going through over the past couple of years. Additional lighting, increase of a one-card access to building, increase in the cameras all over campus, security contributions to the Miracle Mile. We're actually paying for a security guard in the Miracle Mile, which is about 1.5 miles down the road. It's a place where a lot of students go because of the variety of different restaurants. Increase of our stripe and the addition of a shuttle and additional officers. Crime prevention, marketing that we put on. If you go on our Facebook, we got Crime Safety 101. It kind of gives you an idea of the kind of issues on campus and how you can prevent yourself from becoming a victim. Our officer liaison program that we work with the different RAs and putting on programming. Our presentations, you might even see me in a classroom or two because I do that. Resident assistant, required programs all over the campus for the residents, and our officers assist them, and then you'll see in the Pacific. And if you go to our website, you can always read what happened the week before. I always put a pamphlet out of all the different issues that have happened on campus, the arrests, things like that. And then the Pacific Alert Team, lastly, we have a comprehensive team on campus of about 35 individuals covering a cross-section of the campus that we meet once a month, and we train on things like active shooter, hostage, fire, flood. And what we try to do is to prepare for that. We just had one about 2 weeks ago with the cabinet, the president and the vice presidents, on how to handle a pandemic of measles outbreak. And what we do is then we will have you, and I think you are registered on Pacific Connect. And what Pacific Connect does, it'll send an alert out to you, either text, phone, email, blast email. There's several other ways that we can alert you. And then you will be directed to an emergency website that will tell you what's going on and what next steps are for you, whether you're going to be evacuated, or it's going to be a power outage is only for an hour, or it could be a flood's coming in, we got to move off campus. But that website will be constantly running, advising you of what you need to do. Anybody have any questions? Again, if you want any assistance with regards to housing or stocking, shopping, need to know what Trader Joe's is or anything like that, get a hold of us. We'll help you out. We'll direct you out there. Okay. Thank you. Have a safe weekend.